gender is a performance, and I'm on performance-enhancing drugs, which normally I wouldn't be for, really, because it seems kind of unfair, right? But in this case, I'm actually very pro performance-enhancing drugs, I guess, because honestly, same. You know, so let's all take our performance-enhancing drugs together, I guess. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing some queer memes, probably also ones I've saved a while ago. And by a while, I mean I saved this specific first one on the 31st of July 2022, so it's really been a while. But somehow memes go missing on my phone. But we find them eventually, so that's what we're doing today. But you know the deal, before you continue, y'all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll continue. Are you hydrated? Good. Let's go. Are you a big shirt, little pants gay, or a little shirt, big pants gay? Probably both. You know, not at the same time, obviously, but why choose when you can literally just do both? Right? Like, depending on the mood. Like, if it's summer, if it's really warm, definitely the first, you know, just like wear like super short shorts, but then like a big shirt because it's like airy and kind of comfortable. But then I also wear like tight pants and like loose sweatshirts in winter, so honestly, I think I'm leaning towards the first, but also like baggy pants and tight shirts, so why choose, you know? End trans genocide now! Devin. Okay. Ron DeSantis, we have the media, J.K. Rowling, politicians, edgy teens, and all bigots on our side. Well, we have Devin. And honestly, if we all believe in Devin, he might make a comeback, because honestly, Devin has apparently been slacking. Devin, pull it together. We're willing to give you one more chance, but pull it together and put in some work. You know, come on. Are you a boy or a girl? Agender people, no. Non-binary people, yes. Yes and no. Because no. You know, this meme specifically might mean I'm more agender than non-binary. Because I usually just like identify as non-binary because it's like gender is stupid and fake and it confuses me, so I just refuse. But in that case, probably agender would be very accurate. You know, but at least because I find people exhausting and find explaining myself to people exhausting, saying non-binary is kind of the same way like saying queer is just easier for me. Like, I could go into detail, you know, about my attraction, but it's not really anyone's business. And it's also just exhausting to explain to people, so I just say I'm queer. You know, and same with non-binary. Like, people at least know what non-binary is. They still ask, are you girl non-binary or boy non-binary if you don't pay attention, you know, if you talk to the wrong people. But still, like, people have a general idea at least. Whereas agender probably just confuses people even more because they can't picture it as a secret third thing, which, yeah, being non-binary isn't like a secret third gender or a third gender in general. But they can picture it somewhat better than just saying no gender. No gender. You know? But yeah, if we want to get technical, no. Mom, so do you have a girlfriend? Me, no. Well, you're definitely going to get one. Me, a gay boy who's not out yet. Yeah, sure. Well, in that case, let me substitute in for your mom and say, I'm sure you'll find a boyfriend though. Because, like, it's more difficult when you're not out, and it's more difficult if you live somewhere where you can't be out, obviously. But I believe in you. Be safe, but I believe in you. You can find a boyfriend too, you know? A character shows no interest in dating or sex. You headcanon them as ROAs. Wait, the writer makes it canon. They actually use the words asexual and aromantic. Now I need to know. What show or movie or whatever was this referring to? I really need to know. Please someone tell me. Because, again, this was saved in March 23. That was quite the time jump there, but this was saved in March 23. Do you think I would have any idea what was in the caption of this if I even saved this like last week? But apparently in 23 I wasn't smart enough to screenshot the caption as well to know what this was referring to, so now I screwed myself, apparently. But if anyone has like show or movie recommendations or book recommendations, feel free to leave them in the comments, because we need more allies representation and I love it. And if you have recommendations, please let me know. Your Ace, that is such a turn off. I sure hope it is. That's not really the point of being asexual, but it does work in our favor if people think it's a turn off. Although I feel like the more common reaction would be the same thing straight men say to lesbians, like, oh, I'm sure I can change your mind, which is disgusting either way. Doesn't really matter if you say it to lesbians or to asexual people, it's just gross and you're wildly overestimating yourself, even if that would work. You know, like, even if that is how it would work, these types of people are probably not the ones who would actually be able to achieve it, if it was even possible. So don't be gross, and, you know, if you think it's a turn off, if you think it's weird, then good. Prioritizing your aromantic orientation. Prioritizing your asexual orientation. Nope, I'ma press both. I'm happy to be aroace. Be like this cat. Because listen, I am close to being this cat. I'll be honest about that, because it's kind of difficult for me. Because, again, I find people exhausting to deal with, and then just constantly hearing people go on, and like, whenever I try to like get out of those conversations, I'd be like, oh yeah, I don't want to date. People always like took it as like a temporary thing of like, oh yeah, no, I know like you're trans and you're just like focusing on your transition right now. Like, of course that's more important to you. I just like always viewed it as a temporary thing, or viewed it as, oh yeah, no, you're currently like in like stressed because you're moving or you're starting a new job or whatever was going on. They would find a reason to view it as like, oh, it's just temporary, like you'll want to eventually. And while I never like consciously believed it, I think I tried telling myself that they might be right. But the more time goes on, the more I realize how wrong it is. Like, I know for a lot of people it's true, right? They might really choose to focus on other things, or choose not to because they had a heartbreak, or, you know, whatever it is. Like, I'm sure that's the case for a lot of people. But it still seems incredibly dismissive, so close to being this cat, striving to be this cat, and I'm wishing any of you who are on the same path also a fast journey to be this cat, I guess. My dad told me that he has a coworker who's a trans woman. She was married to this girl before her transition, and they remarried together after it. Everyone at work respects her pronouns. My dad is in an achieving position at his office, and he told me that nobody jokes behind her back. She and her wife have 2 cute dogs together, and I feel like I should share this story because I want everyone to know that this positivity and respect exists, and you deserve it. Don't ever dare think that you don't, because you do. Update, they have 3 dogs now. This is a very important update, thank you for that. But also, yeah, like, I kinda get it. Like, it's very easy to get used to people not showing this respect. And, you know, just being outright hateful or just, like, making weird comments about it. I feel like we're maybe too used to that because a lot of people, unfortunately, are like that. So then when someone immediately switches, like, I had this one teacher, because I was still in school when I transitioned, like, for, like, learning my job. And I told one of the teachers before class, because he, like, referred to us with our last name, with Mrs. or Mr. And I told him before class to please switch, and like told him why, and he was like, oh, okay, sure. No problem. And he did immediately, and I was just so impressed for such a long time, because it's like, my parents don't manage to do that. Like, my mom struggled for a while, my dad still struggles, because I have long hair. Because when I had short hair, he would at least manage to get my pronouns right, like, half of the time. Because in German, I just go by, like, he, him pronouns, because German, they, them is just kind of... I don't know, it doesn't sound right to me, personally. I know a lot of people use it, and that's cool, but I don't really vibe with it, and I don't really care what pronouns people use, but... Either way, it's very easy to get used to people being weird about it. That doesn't mean you don't deserve people being disrespectful and kind. 10-year-old me, I guess I kinda think everyone's gross, maybe a little, but I held Jimmy McClain's hand under the swing set 2 years ago, so, I'm straight as a line. Current me, no you're not. You're also not bisexual just because you're equally attracted to boys and girls. If that attraction, like if that amount of attraction is 0, it doesn't mean you're bisexual. And it really also doesn't mean you're straight just because you're not attracted to the same gender. You know, that's a thing that exists, you know, being asexual. Thought you'd like to know. So, what's your favorite position in bed? Near the wall, so I can use my phone while it's charging. It is an appropriate answer. I feel like this person is still going to be mad at you because it wasn't what they were hinting at. But since I'm a fan of asking specific questions, you got an appropriate answer, you know, because that is the position they like to be in bed. So you can't actually be mad that they answered your question, you know? Adult me, holding "you need romance to be happy." Young me, looking at me, and I'm throwing it away. Because you don't. Like, even if you are romantically attracted to people, whether or not you're dating or in a relationship doesn't determine your worth. It doesn't determine how happy you can be with your life. It can add to the happiness in your life, obviously. You know, if you have like a supportive partner and you're like there for each other, of course, it helps. But that doesn't mean you need it. But especially if you're aromantic, you probably don't. I know some aromantic people still want relationships, and that's fine. Like, obviously, whether or not you're aromantic, you're allowed to want relationships. You don't need them to live. You don't need them to be happy. You can build a fulfilling life either way. You know, people that have kids that end up deciding to get into polyamorous relationships, how do you explain it to your kids? Most adults can't even comprehend non-monogamy. Adults can't comprehend non-monogamy because they've already been conditioned into mononormativity. Children understand polyamory just as well as they understand other LGBTQIA identities. Literally this, because children learn new things every day. And while I'm a firm believer that you should continue learning when you're an adult, you know, is beside the point right now, because children learn a lot of new things every day. They have people explain new things to them every day, and whether or not they initially get it or not, they don't even really care enough to be weird about it most of the time, unless they've been like already like conditioned by their parents to hate anything different. You know, but usually if you just say, oh, you know, it just means I love multiple people, or it just means that I want to spend my time with multiple people. Like, you can explain it to children. Same way you can explain two men being together because, well, they just love each other like your mom and dad love each other. You know, kids don't care. They don't really have a full understanding of adult relationships anyways, because how would they as children? So if you just explain it in age-appropriate terms, I feel like kids are really, really gonna understand it better than adults who just want to pull the, no, but that's not possible. No, but you must love one of your partners more than the other, right? And pull that kind of weird things. Like, kids aren't going to do that. Why are all the guys so hot? Why are all the girls so hot? Why is everyone so hot? Why is my pizza so hot? You know, I feel like people who are sexually attracted to people must struggle sometimes. Because you gotta struggle with your pizza or whatever food being too hot and finding people too hot. What is that like? Because I feel like that might actually make your life more difficult. Doesn't it? Outing my girlfriend as a Protestant at Christmas dinner so my granny forgets that we're both women. Why does this sound like a Dairy Girls episode? Very Christian grandma. What do you got there? Granddaughter holding her girlfriend's hand. A Protestant? But why do I feel like this might actually work? Just make her outraged about something else so she doesn't focus on being homophobic. Why do I feel like this would work? It might not work for a long time, but I feel like for that first initial Christmas dinner, it would really work. And then maybe your grandma just gets used to the idea of you dating another woman. Please tell me someone has actually, like, tried this. Because that would honestly just be so funny. Is every woman on the planet's boyfriend unworthy of her? Or am I just a lesbian? Honestly, can I just say, why choose? Like, why do you think it's just one thing? It might really be both. Because a lot of times, when you look at straight relationships, you do wonder if she couldn't have done better. I'ma just be honest, I'm not even a lesbian. I don't want to date women either. But that doesn't mean I need to understand why these two people are dating. It doesn't mean I understand why she thinks so little of herself that she puts up with his type of shitty behavior instead of finding someone who treats her better. You know, doesn't mean I need to understand that. But yeah, maybe it's both. Maybe you are just gay, if you think it's literally every woman, but I feel like in a lot of cases, it's probably still both. Lifeguard surprised how many gay guys can't swim. It's at least 10 times a day. Yeah, I wonder why. This reads like a shitpost. Like, someone probably made up this headline, but why can I still imagine this happening? You know? I would just be like, I can normally swim, but I got dizzy. I'm sorry, I think I didn't eat enough today, you know, to get safe. Why can I still picture this happening? Probably not that often, right? Like, let's not pretend all gay men are gonna try to use this as a strategy just to grope some random dude. Like, that's kind of weird. But why can I still imagine someone doing this? Hey, I'm pretty gay. In fact, I have a husband. I have a husband too, and frankly, I would say I'm gayer than you. How are you gayer than I am? I wear a man purse. That's not gay, that's hideous, and if you were as gay as I am, you would know that. Fun fact, I still have no idea what show or movie this is from, but these two are married to each other. And why do I feel like they have this conversation in some form or the other at least 2 times a week? Again, if someone knows what this is from, feel free to leave it below and tell me how often they have this conversation, because I feel like they will have it a lot. Asexuality is weird, because you'll be 12 going, wow, why are people my age concerned about sex? We're just kids. And then you're 16 going, wow, why are people my age concerned about sex? We're just kids. And then you're an adult and suddenly realizing that other people are attracted to people and want to have sex with them, and that's the normal thing at that age, and you're like, oh, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not better than everyone because I have an easy time not having those thoughts. Maybe I'm just asexual. Like, literally, I've heard both, right? Like, the common thing is, like, asexual people feeling kind of, like, weird or broken because it's like, why do other people do and I don't? And then I've heard the opposite of people just literally going, y'all are pathetic. Like, what do you mean you have a hard time ignoring your horny thoughts? Like, what are you even talking about? I guess I must be superior. You know, I've heard both. Second one is infinitely funnier, to be honest. Because the first one, is probably kind of harder to deal with, because the first one takes years to unlock of like fully accepting that you literally are just different and kind of getting out of that mindset of somehow being inferior to other people, because that's literally a lie, or like it literally doesn't matter. But that's harder to get rid of than kind of the superiority of it, because then once you realize, oh no, it's not that I'm superior, it's just that I'm asexual, I think that's kind of that, and you might still just like joke about it, but I feel like it's easier. Fondly remembering the time 2 of my transphobic colleagues wouldn't eat my baking, so I made progressively more delicious and elaborate cakes and watched them die inside from their own bigotry. Can we just make it a rule that transphobes can't eat cake? Because this is literally just so funny. Like, it's funny, like, did you enjoy baking before this? Or did you get into baking out of spite? Because the first one would be fair, right? Like, you love baking anyway, so you just like spend a little bit more time on it to make them like more elaborate. It's fine. But doing things out of spite just somehow gets me every time. So if you literally just got into baking to do this to spite the transphobes, I would somehow be even more amazed by this. Like, it's funny either way, because you can just like see their faces, right? Like, you don't know what these people look like, but you know the transphobes in your life, and you can just kind of picture them upset about it, and it's funny. But still, do things out of spite. It's literally the best. Hot take: HRT, gender therapy, and trans surgeries should be free. If cis people don't have to pay for a body, that doesn't make them dysphoric, neither should trans people. So, by that logic, does that mean I should get antidepressants and all other pills for my mental issues for free because the people who don't suffer from them don't have to pay for them? Yes. I know a lot of people like kind of view this as radical, same with like generally medicine either being free or at least being affordable, right? Because I'm confused. I thought I usually pay for like my ADHD medication, like the 5 or 10 euros, that you pay to the drugstore when you pick it up for the actual prescription, but you don't have to pay like the full medicine price because your health insurance covers like most of it. I literally picked up new meds yesterday, and the lady told me that the health insurance covers all of it. So confused by it. Did something change and I missed it? I don't know. The last time I picked my meds up was way too long ago for me to even remember if I paid anything. But literally, if this is like the same reason I find it so stupid that glasses and contact lenses are so expensive. Like, it's not really your fault that your eyesight isn't great. Why do you have to pay so much for glasses? But then again, you can make that argument about a lot of things. Okay, the fact that I'm attracted to men after seeing how they act in public bathrooms is evidence that sexuality is not a choice. Also, the fact that I'm still willing to transition knowing it means I have to use men's public restrooms for the rest of my life is evidence that gender also isn't a choice. To be fair, it makes me feel a little bit better if I'm like in public with someone who uses the women's bathroom, and then we meet up afterwards and they tell me how disgusting the women's bathroom was, and I was like, well, guess it didn't matter that much, but overall, yeah, I feel like this will probably still hold true. This seems very fair. A lesbian moving service that... Sorry, I got so horny thinking about strong women I passed out for a second. It's okay, I can finish the post for you. Lesbian moving services that... Well, you'll never believe what just happened. Okay, listen. A lot of businesses struggle, right? Like, a lot of businesses struggle getting enough clients and, like, keeping up and making enough money to be profitable. I feel like depending on where you like get this, like make this type of company, I feel like it would do well, because it's not even just queer women who would use the service. Hey, I'm not a queer woman. I would use this. Because you need help moving sometimes, you know? And you don't want strange men touching your things, and somehow most women are safer than most men, so, you know, I would prefer this. Also, men being strong, cool, it's alright, you know, like it can be impressive, but strong women, I'm just infinitely more impressed by somehow. You know, so I would definitely use this. And then like a lot of other queer people generally would. A lot of women generally would, because they also just like don't want to spend that much time around strange men. So I feel like you would have a lot of clients. Let's just say that. Anyways, that's all the memes we're gonna go through today. I have so many more saved, and I'm not even done going through my pictures. But anyways, that's all the memes we're doing today. I promise we'll get through all of them eventually. I just need to stop saving new memes. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed these memes. I hope you feel a little bit called out, because again, I keep calling myself out with Erois memes. Like, I know I'm Erois, but it keeps calling me out. It's kind of strange. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're hydrated. If not, maybe go drink something now, and I'll be back in a few days with my next video.